the Howie Silbiger Show on the True Talk Radio Network. Call 1-877-669-1292. This is True Talk.
And good afternoon and welcome to the Howie Silbiger Show right here on the True Talk Radio Network. My name is Howie Silbiger and I am your host right here on TrueTalkRadio.com. And I'd like to welcome everybody who is listening on YouTube and on Facebook. And I think the stream is down. So we are working on getting the stream back up, but we are live on Facebook and on YouTube. And so we are broadcasting there at the moment. The number to call if you want to get in on the conversation, the number to call is 1-877-669-1292. That's 1-877-669-1292. I'm not quite sure what happened to the True Talk Radio stream. But we are broadcasting live on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and on the True Talk Radio website. We're trying to get the stream back up on TrueTalkRadio.com, and for some reason we're having a little bit of an issue with that. So give us a minute if you're trying to listen on the stream and you've logged into Facebook to see what's going on. Give us a minute, and it will be back up and running in a minute or two. Meanwhile, I'm Howie Silbiger. This is the Howie Silbiger Show. Thank you so much for joining me. I do appreciate it. We are live every Sunday night from 8 to 9 p.m. We are live Tuesdays and Thursday nights from 10 to 11 p.m. It is an exciting time here on the Howie Silbiger Show. Now, those of you who watch the show, who listen to the show, may have realized that I've been off for a couple of weeks. About 3 weeks ago, I stepped out of my house and stepped onto the landing in front of my house where the stairs are on the outside of the house, and promptly hit a patch of black ice. I went flying down the stairs. Now, 20 years ago, when I was a young whippersnapper, as the old people say. I would have got not brushed myself off and been fine. I did get up, I brushed myself off, and I found that I wasn't so fine. I had hurt myself, I had pulled something or twisted something or done something to myself that did not allow me to do this show. It didn't allow me to do much, actually. I was not able to move. And so it took me a while to recuperate, and so while I was recuperating, I couldn't possibly do the show. So I want to thank you all for your patience. I want to thank you for your understanding. I want to thank you for being there and for all the kind notes that you sent me, asked me where the show was and why I was not doing the show at that time. It feels good that people actually care, because normally you do these kind of shows. You do a podcast, you do a show live on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and you find that people just generally don't have this connection. They don't care. So I'm glad that people finally care, and people care that the show wasn't on, and people spent their time to ask me why and to send me notes, and I appreciate that immensely. If you're trying to listen on the stream, I know some people, they like to watch and listen on the stream. The stream will be up shortly. There's a little technical issue. We're dealing with it now. And then the stream will be back up, God willing, in just a couple of minutes. So it's been an interesting couple of weeks, to say the least. Israel looks like they're going back to elections. The United States looks like the president will be impeached in Congress, not so much in the Senate. And here in Canada, it looks like the Prime Minister, our Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, has gotten away with all the scandalous stuff that he had done. Seems like the whole world, the whole country has forgotten about the scandals, and life has gone on. In Quebec, Bill 21 has taken effect, and nobody seems to care about that. Now the Quebec government is trying to dismantle school boards, and I don't think too many people are going to care about that either. So it's a really sad and scary time in politics in the world. And looking at the world and realizing how sad and scary it is, one has to wonder, is there any way we could reverse the course? Is there any way we could turn this around and make the world a happier place? A few weeks ago, I spoke to Dennis Prager. He was on the show, and we spoke about happiness. And Dennis was wondering, how do you make people happy? How do people get happy? Is happiness a virtue? Is happiness something that comes easily? Or is happiness something that has to be worked on, something that has to be engineered? And it was a good question. I didn't have, well, I listened to his answer. He wrote a whole book on this. And I listened to what he had to say, and it was actually a really, really interesting question. Is happiness something that we have within us that we could control? Happiness something that we could exhume and we could exert, and we could tell people that I'm a happy person and you're not going to bring me down, and I don't care what you have to say. I'm happy and I'm going to stay happy. Or is happiness an acquired skill? And that is essentially the question that Dennis Prager asked on the show when he was on the show a few weeks ago, and it's a good question. To me, what does happiness mean? I think we have to define happiness, because I don't think people today are happy. I don't think it's possible to be happy today. I think with the advent of these cell phones and the advent of all the social networking, people are too darn interested in being liked and in being followed and in being liked, being followed, and how many people read their tweets and how many people looked at their Instagram photos. I think they're too focused on that to be happy. I think at this point in technology, in our technological world, we've gotten to the point where people care more about what other people think about themselves than what they think about themselves. And that doesn't make people happy. You can't be happy when you care so much about what other people think of you. Now, call me old-fashioned, and maybe I am. Call me over the hill. Maybe I am. But at the same time, I strongly believe that we are sending the wrong moral values when we emphasize the likes and the likes and the thumbs up. I guess that's a like, and the and all the personal, views and everything else that happens in social media. I think social media is the enemy of happiness. You ever meet somebody who takes a look at social media, and they were fairly happy before, and then they take a look at their social media accounts, and they realize that they're not so happy? Yeah, you ever see that? That they're good, they're happy. You spoke to them just 20 minutes earlier, and they were happy, and they were laughing, and they were joking around, and then they looked at Facebook, they looked at Twitter, and they looked at Instagram, and they saw a message, or they saw a picture they put up that wasn't liked by 500 people. And then suddenly, they were sad. I see it all the time, especially amongst young people. And young people have this anxiety. I mean, they want to be liked, and they want the people to be following them. They want that attention. And at the end of the day, what happens? When they don't get it, they get upset, they get depressed. There's an epidemic of depressed young people. Young people who don't have to pay taxes, young people who have no responsibility whatsoever, young people whose bills are paid for them. There's an epidemic of them upset that they didn't get that like on Facebook. They didn't get that like on Instagram. That not that many people looked at their Snapchat picture or their Snapchat story. It's a sad world. How do we fix this? What do we do to fix this? Where do we go to fix this problem? And that's the question that I have for you. 1-877-669-1292. That's 1-877-669-1292. How do we solve this problem? Could we shut down social media? I don't think that's possible. I don't think at this point it is possible to shut down social media. I don't think at this point it's possible to remove the addiction that people feel towards social media. I don't know if that's possible. I don't think it is. I don't think that people could remove themselves from their online persona. At least some people. I can. I'm pretty much the same online than I am on the radio, that I am in person. If you see me in person, you meet me in person, you will see that I don't have a persona. This is who I am. The way I speak to you on the radio, the way we talk. This is the way I am. There's no pretending here. I'm genuine when it comes to this kind of thing. I don't put on an act for radio. But what do you think? 1-877-669-1292. That's 1-877-669-1292. And give us a call, and we'll put you on the air. We're having a little bit of a technical problem with the stream, but the phone should still work. If you just called in and you got cut off, call back. It was an accident. The stream is not working at the moment, but the phones are. So if you called in, I saw the phone ringing, and then it stopped. So if you're calling in and you thought that maybe because the stream wasn't working, the phone's not working, think again. The phone is working. You could call in 1-877-669-1292. That's 1-877-669-1292 to get in on the conversation here on the Howie Silbiger Show on the True Talk Radio Network. I'd love to speak to you. Do you think that social media is causing the removal of happiness from the world? Do you think that is the root of all evil today? I think it is. I really believe that social media is evil. I use it as a tool. I use it to promote the show. I use it as a way to advertise the show. In fact, we're streaming on social media right now. We're streaming on Facebook, Twitter, and the Howie Silbiger Show page. We're streaming on the website. So I'm using social media as a tool for the show, because I think that a lot of people are addicted to the show and they're not listening to the stream. Well, definitely not tonight, but in general, they're not listening to the stream, but they will watch it. They will watch the show on social media because that's where they're hanging out. And so if that's the case, then I will bring the show to where people are. Does that make me an exploiter of this kind of addiction? Am I exploiting an addiction? It's quite possible I am. It is quite possible that I am exploiting an addiction. Should I be ashamed of exploiting that addiction? Well, absolutely not. This kind of addiction is the kind of addiction that I have no choice but to exploit. If you want viewership and you want listenership, then you have to exploit this kind of addiction. Now, just referring to social media as an addiction is somewhat controversial. People tell me that's a controversial thing to say, Howie. But how controversial it really is it? Have you ever seen somebody who forgot their phone at home? Have you ever seen somebody who they just forgot their phone at home? How crazy they go because they don't have a cell phone on them. Go to a high school. I teach at high schools. Go to a high school and watch a kid who forgot their cell phone at home. And see how nuts they go because they don't have their cell phone. And then explain to me how cell phone and Facebook and Twitter and Snapchat and Instagram are not an addiction. Explain that to me. Explain to me how these major companies, these mega media companies, haven't exploited our children and brainwashed the general population. They have, and we've allowed them to do it. I always laugh because I think it's funny that 20 years ago, before all this explosion of smartphones and the explosion of Facebook and Twitter and all this stuff, when none of this stuff existed, if the government wanted to know where you were, or the FBI or the CIA or Canadian intelligence services wanted to know who and where you were, they would have to go to a court, and they would have to get a warrant, and then after they got the warrant, they would have to assign people to follow you, and then specialists to trace your phones and to intercept your mail. Today, they just have to follow you on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Snapchat. 90% of the people volunteer the information that they used to need a warrant to get. How scary is that? And then you answer these surveys, and these surveys take more information, and then these companies use that information they get from you to sell to other companies who direct market to you. And so you go and search for a scrub brush on Google, and then suddenly you're getting these ads for scrub brushes on all your social media. Suddenly Amazon is bombarding you with emails and ads saying, hey, buy a scrub brush on Amazon. But how did they know I was looking for a scrub brush? Because one sells the information to the other, and the other one gets the information from the first one. And this is how it works. It's a round robin of information that you are voluntarily giving these media companies. Does that sound scary to you? It sounds scary to me. Now, on top of that, even worse than volunteering your information to these media companies is the fact, and this fact should blow your mind, is the fact that your cell phone and your smart TV is listening to you. Your Alexa is listening to you. Your Google Home is listening to you. Every word you say, it is listening. And it's picking up keywords, and it's sending keywords back to the mother country. Back to Google, back to Amazon. So they could market directly to you. And this is all up front, by the way. This is all something that it's not a hidden secret. They make you sign. They make you agree to this. You don't sign for it, but you click, you agree to it. When you agree to their terms and conditions. So you could be having a private conversation in your house. And Alexa is listening. And Google's listening. And now Facebook's listening. That's the way it works. I'm talking to you right now in my studio. My cell phone is lying on the table in front of me. And I picked up my cell phone, and if you take a look, Google actually responded to something I said. So Google's listening all the time. I said something and Google responded. It's that scary. Let's go to the phones. Hi, who's this? Thank you for sharing that. All right, so Google is listening, and Facebook is listening. And here we are. In a world where Big Brother is watching you and they rule the world. Now, you might look at me like I'm crazy. You might say, Howie, you're nuts. What do you mean big tech is ruling the world? Think about who controls the information of the world. Who controls all the information? It's not you. It's not me. So who is it then? It's Google. Google controls everything. They are the masters of world information. So if Google controls everything, and here we are again, let me just show you how creepy this is. So I'm talking to you, and I said Google is the master of information. And let me show you. I'll hold this up to the camera for those of you watching. You see, it says right here, I said Google's is the master of information. It says 2020 Masters Tournament will begin on Thursday, April 9th. So Google was listening and they heard the keyword master. They heard the keyword masters. And they decided, and Google decided that because they were listening to my conversation with you, they would give me that information. Every time I say the word Google, and usually I have to say, hey, Google. But every time I say the word Google, the phone comes on. And it's recording every single word I say. It's typing it out as I'm saying it. I'm watching it. I'm watching the screen do it. Why do we allow this to happen? Why do we allow big tech to listen into us, to track us, and to listen to everything we're doing? Why do we allow it? There must be a reason we allow this to happen. I can't think of a reason that I would want this to happen, but maybe you could explain it to me. 1-877-669-1292. It's 1-877-669-1292. Perhaps there is a reason why you think that we should allow this to happen. What benefit do we have? Is there any benefit to us as consumers to allow Google and Facebook and all these other companies to listen to everything we do? 1-877-669-1292 is the number to call. I'm Howie Silbiger. This is the Howie Silbiger Show. We're heard live every Sunday night from 6 to 9 p.m. Right? Oh, no, it's not 6 to 9. We're heard from 8 to 9 p.m. right here on the True Talk Radio Network. We're going to take a little break. When we come back, the Howie Silbiger Show continues right here on TrueTalkRadio.com. Welcome back to the Howie Silbiger Show right here on the True Talk Radio Network. Number to call, 1-877-669-1292. That's 1-877-669-1292. If you're trying to listen to the show on the True Talk Radio app, unfortunately the stream is down. It should be back up sometime during the show. We're working on it, but right now the stream is not up. So if you are trying to listen on the app, it's not going to work. So if you've logged into Facebook or gone to the True Talk Radio website, or found me on Periscope, this is why you are not hearing it on the app. The show, of course, goes on. We are live. Number to call, 1-877-669-1292. That's 1-877-669-1292. You could get in on the conversation. There seems to be somebody trying to prank the show. So I put them on before, but I hung up on them immediately, and they called again during the commercial break. So if you're just calling the show to prank the show, well, good luck to you. So big tech. We're talking about big tech and how big tech controls the world, essentially controls the world. And how I find it scary that big tech controls the world the way they do. It is a scary phenomenon. It is something that we should be very careful of, something we should be wary of. Like I said before the break, years ago, the government needed a warrant to get information about you. Today, they just have to look at your social media. A lot of people on social media just share everything. Why would you do that? Why would you share everything? Who cares where you are? Why would you check in on Facebook where you are? Why would you tell people on Snapchat where you are? Is there any advantage to this? Have we all become so nihilistic that we need to be this? Do we think that people actually care that much about every minutia of our lives? How self-centered has this world become that everyone thinks that they could take a picture of a salad that they ate at a restaurant and people would care that they ate that salad? How crazy has the world become that every location, every place you go, people check into social media. Hey, look at me. I'm at the museum. Hey, look at me. Hey, look at me. That's what you're saying. Are you that desperate for attention? Are you that lonely? Are people that lonely? Really? Really? You're that lonely? It's kind of sad. It's kind of sad and scary. I mean, yeah, if you go to a cool place, then it's one thing. I have no problem with that. I have no issue with if you go to a cool place. But if you're at the shopping mall, or you're at McDonald's, or you're at somewhere mundane and stupid, do I care where you are? Some of these apps, by the way, so an app like Snapchat, it has a feature that allows users to see other users who are in their area. So it's called Find Your Friend. And it shows you a map, and it shows you where all your friends are using their GPS locators in their phones. So if you are a Snapchatter, I guess that's what they call them, and you have a bunch of friends who are members of your Snapchat app, they could see exactly where you are, almost to the spot, just by going to a map in their app. They could track you in real time. It's almost mind-blowing that people would allow that to happen. It's actually scary that people would say, I'm okay with that. I'm okay if my friends know exactly where I'm at all times. Is there no sense of mystery anymore? Is there no sense of privacy anymore? Does that not exist? And I know sometimes when I say the word privacy, people have no clue what I'm talking about. What does privacy mean? Is that even a word anymore? Does that even exist anymore? Is there a such thing as a semblance of privacy? Is there anything that you could do in this life that you're not being recorded? Or not being followed? Or not being listened to? Every corner you walk onto, every street you walk down, there are cameras recording your every move. Every store you walk into, there's a camera recording you leaving and coming. Every time you turn your back, everywhere you go, there's a camera recording you. In one day, the statistic says, there are people who take more pictures in one day than in the entire 20th century. So today we are taking more pictures in one day than all the pictures that were taken in the entire 20th century. Think about how insane that is. Think about how crazy that is. Why would we allow that? Why would we do that? Why would we do that to ourselves or to anybody else? Have we gone totally insane? Have we lost our sense of free will? Have we lost? I mean, has it ever existed? Did free will ever exist, really? But if we're going to agree that free will existed, did we not just voluntarily give that up? By allowing these companies to take over our lives the way they have? And if we've allowed these companies to take over our lives the way they have, what's left? What is left for us to do? What more could we possibly do? And is there a point in doing anything? Because we become slaves to technology. I thank God every day that we have the Sabbath. I thank God for the Sabbath. The reason I thank God for the Sabbath is that I turn all my technology off. On Sabbath, there's no technology. So my phone is turned off. Everything is turned off, which is a good thing. It's really a good thing, because that way I don't have to worry. I really just don't have to worry about anything. I don't have to worry about social media. I don't miss it either. I know some people, they miss social media. They say, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I don't have Facebook. I don't have Twitter. I don't have Snapchat for 2 days. How am I going to live? I don't have that problem. I don't care. I don't need social media to survive. I don't need the affirmation of likes. I don't need the affirmation of people liking what I do or affirming that what I do is good. I don't need that. I don't care about that. That's not important to me. Now, that might be a generational thing, although I did grow up in the technological generation, so computers are not foreign to me, and technology is not foreign to me. I'm not afraid of technology, and I know how to use it. All those apps and all those social media things I'm talking about, I know how to use them very well. I'm broadcasting on 3 of them right now. That's how well I know how to use them. So I'm not worried about myself, because I could turn it all off. Tomorrow I could turn off all my social media and not miss it for a second. The people I care about, the people I want to talk to, and the people who want to talk to me can reach me in various other ways. They don't have to reach me on Facebook. And they don't have to tweet me, although nobody ever does, but they don't have to tweet me. And they don't have to send me a Snapchat picture or a message on Snapchat. They don't have to send me an Instagram message. People who know me, people who are my friends, people I know in real life, could call me. They could text me. I don't need the social media. I've kept the social media for so many years, only because of the radio show. if I ever stop doing this radio show, and there'll be a day where this radio show will stop being done. Today it's become more of a TV show than a radio show, but there will become a day. There will be a day where I'll be done with this, and we'll shut it all down. And I'm not saying it's coming up anytime soon, but I'm saying that that one day that will happen. And when that happens, then then what? I will shut down all my social media. There will be no reason for me to keep it. The only reason I keep my social media running, the only reason is for this show. Now, if that sounds weird to you, and I know it should, I know it will sound weird to a lot of people listening, that I don't really care about social media, and I keep it running because of the show. I know a lot of people are going to find that weird. They're going to say, what the heck are you talking about, Howie? How is it possible that you only care about the show and you don't care about social media in general? You don't care what people are doing. You don't care what I ate for supper last night. You don't care what movie I saw last night, and you don't care what my favorite color is. How could you, Howie? Don't you care about me? Don't you care about me, Howie? Don't you care about me? I know that'll be the question you'll ask me. And I'll say, I care about you. Of course I care about you. And if we're friends, then we're fine. I mean, I care about a lot of people. And if we're friends, we're okay. Because if we are friends, then you will know how to reach me outside of social media. If we are acquaintances who only know each other through social media or through this radio show or through the various other radio shows I do, then once I stop doing this, then there's really no point in us keeping in touch, is there? Because we're not really friends. Now, we could become friends, and I'm not opposed to making new friends. Don't get me wrong. But if you only follow me and you only watch and you only listen because you like what I have to say, because you like the radio show and you like what I have to say, I'm fine with that too. I don't have to be friends with everybody. I'm good with that. But when I finally give up my media personality and my media, well, it's not my media persona because my media persona and my personal persona is the same. But when I finally give up the radio show and I finally give up doing the radio thing, which isn't coming anytime soon, by the way. So don't get your hopes up high. Those of you who don't like me, don't get your hopes up high that I'm going to give this up anytime soon. I'm not giving this up anytime soon. But when I do finally give it up, don't be surprised if I don't keep in touch with people I don't personally know. That's all I'm saying. 1-877-669-1292 is the number to call. 1-877-669-1292 to get in on the conversation. I'm Howie Silbiger. This is the Howie Silbiger Show. We're heard live right here on the True Talk Radio Network. And I invite you to call in, 1-877-669-1292. The lines are open, and I will take your call if you are a serious call. But there are people who are trying to prank the show tonight. I noticed the lines are ringing, and it's not a real caller. So I don't know if it's I don't know who's trying to prank the show, but if you are, stop. There's no reason to do this, because I'm not going to put you on the air. So it's just not going to be funny. So if you're trying to be funny, it's just not going to be funny. But if you're a real caller, give me a call, 1-877-669-1292. I'm Howie Silbiger. It's the Howie Silbiger Show right here on the True Talk Radio Network. I'm going to take a little break. When we come back, the Howie Silbiger Show continues right here on TrueTalkRadio.com. And welcome back to the Howie Silbiger Show right here on the True Talk Radio Network. The stream seems to be back up, but we can't get the live stream on, so the show is not going to stream on the app tonight. We'll have that fixed for next show. But thank you for those of you who have sent me messages saying that the app is not working and that you can't hear the show on the app. The show will be back on the app starting next show. This technical problem, I have no idea what it is, so we'll figure it out over the next day or so, and we'll get the show back on the app as soon as we can. It still will be archived, and the show will still be available on True Talk Radio, the stream, probably as of tomorrow. We're going to try to get the show up there tomorrow, too. All right, so let's go to the phones. And, hi, welcome to the program. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate the call. I think that was a wonderful phone call. I don't know what's wrong with people today. I don't know. I don't get it. So anyway, we're talking about big tech, and so the big tech companies are controlling the world. And you see, I'm talking about big tech, and my phone is going nuts, by the way. I showed it to you before, but the phone is going absolutely crazy. Every time I mention Google and world domination, the phone's going. The phone's looking up all sorts of things about world domination. It's quite interesting, and it's quite interesting that the phone is actually responding to everything I'm talking about. So it's looking up stuff that I'm telling you about, which I find fascinating because the phone's listening to what I'm saying, and that to me is fascinating. All right, let's see if this is a real call. Hi, and welcome to the program. Oh, 1 second. Hi, and welcome to the program. Hi, who's this? Hey, Rob, welcome to the program. What's up? We are talking about big tech. Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, the app's not working too well. Not tonight. Yeah. It should be fixed by next show. We're talking about big tech and world domination of big tech. Do you feel that you're addicted to Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat? Yeah. Yeah, do you ever see a young guy or a young woman who forgets their phone and how nuts they go that they don't have their cell phone? It isn't that scary though that how brainwashed you were and how addicted you were to it? Yeah, and one of the founders of Facebook recently at a conference said that Facebook was designed with that in mind. It was designed to addict you. So the likes, the colors, and the flashing red dot and everything else was all designed so that you would be addicted and that you would stay on their site as long as possible. It's kind of scary. So how do we get out of this? What do we do to save ourselves, to save our souls, and to save our kids? How do we do this? Yeah. I really think that we should all just back away from these companies. You know, a billion people are members of Facebook. It's time to back up and say, hey, wait a second. If a billion people are addicted to this, then maybe government should be intervening and saying, hey, Facebook, what are you doing? It's true. Thank you so much for calling. Appreciate it. Thank you. You too. Bye. 1-877-669-1292 is the number to call. I'm just following one of the threads on Facebook. We're broadcasting on Facebook, and I'm following one of the threads on Facebook. And he says, what's the problem with Facebook? You're communicating via Facebook. And well, a billion people are addicted to beef. Why not stop beef or sugar or Coca-Cola? Well, the difference between beef, sugar, and Coca-Cola, just to answer your question, is that Facebook controls information. Google controls information. They are controlling your mind. They are controlling what you think and how you express yourself and the information that you gather. That is quite different than food, than a food addiction. It's quite different than drinking Coca-Cola or eating sugar. When someone controls your mind and controls your thought process, then you have lost personal autonomy. Then you have lost your ability to be a person. And if you lose your ability to be a person, then you just become a drone, a robot, who answers to the taskmasters at the alphabet, or who answers to the taskmasters at Facebook, or who answers to the taskmasters, I'd say at Instagram, but Facebook and Instagram are both owned by Facebook, at Twitter. You become a slave to them. And becoming a slave to them, no thank you. I don't want to be a slave to anybody. So while I do broadcast, and I explained it before, I broadcast on Facebook, and I broadcast on Twitter, and I use social media. And when I use social media in this way, I am really, what I'm actually doing is I'm exploiting the addiction. And I know it's not good to exploit people's addictions, and that's probably a bad thing to do. But that's essentially what I'm doing, is I'm exploiting an addiction. Because I know that the live stream isn't working, and so the way to get viewers and listeners is through Facebook. And so I use Facebook to get my viewers and listeners. It's an exploitation. And do I feel bad about exploiting people on Facebook and having people watch and have a discussion? No, because I'm not trying to control your mind. I'm not trying to control any of your thought processes, much like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram are. They don't control your thought processes. Of course they do. Of course they do. If they tell you everything that you know, they're controlling the way you think. Facebook and Twitter have started removing posts of people who they disagree with politically. So they're trying to shape the conversation. They're trying to shape the way the world sees the world. And they have the power to do that. It's scary. If you think about it, and you sit back and you think about it, instead of getting defensive and you sit back and you think about it, you realize how scary this really is. When you look at the addiction that young people have towards these cell phones and their devices, it's scary. It's if you see, and then the caller mentioned the dopamine levels of your brain, the rise in dopamine. Every time you get a like, every time that Bing comes up and says, "Hey, somebody liked you, somebody messaged you, somebody looked at your profile," And the dopamine level rises in your brain, and you're suddenly really happy that somebody cares about you. Those who control the information of the world control the world. It's quite simple. The concept is simple. There is no comparison between people who control information irresponsibly and anything else. You can't compare it. If you had a teacher who walked into a classroom and preached hate to the children, that teacher would be controlling the children's mind, because that's the information the children's getting, and the children believe the information is true. It is the same way that when people read, and most people, when they read it on social media, they believe it. You see all that, Donald Trump likes to talk about fake news, and Facebook took up the challenge of trying to rid itself of fake news. But when you see how much of it is actually there, and how much of it people actually believe, you realize that Facebook and Google control the world. All right, so that's it for me. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back on Tuesday night, right here at 10 p.m. Tuesday night, right here on True Talk Radio. We'll be on the app on Tuesday night. For some reason, the live stream didn't work tonight. There's a technical glitch. And it was working. It was working about an hour ago, and it worked right at the beginning of the show. It started working, and then it just stopped. So I will have that fixed. That will be fixed for next show. So I apologize for those of you who are watching on Facebook or Twitter or the True Talk Radio website. I apologize that the app didn't work. But I'm glad that you tuned in online to see the show. I'll be back again on Tuesday night, 10 p.m. right here on the True Talk Radio Network. I want to thank you for listening, and I will see you again next week, right here on TrueTalkRadio.com. Have a great day. Well, not next week. I'll see you on Tuesday. That's less than a week. It's in 2 days. We'll see you then.